There comes a moment, often quiet, often unannounced, when you no longer crave the noise of the world. You don't want more things, more praise, more attention. You want peace, but not the fragile kind that shatters at the first sign of criticism or failure. No, you want a peace that endures, a peace that stands when people leave, when plans fail, when time passes and takes with it all that once defined you. That kind of peace begins when you stop expecting the world to behave according to your preferences. When you realize, truly realize, that people will say things, do things, forget you, misunderstand you, leave you. And it's not a tragedy, it's not betrayal, it's simply how the world moves. To be free is not to make people act the way you wish. It is to no longer need them to. You suffer because you resist what is. You heal the moment you stop. What afflicts you is not what happens, it's the meaning you attach to it. That's the great secret. The world is not your tormentor. Your thoughts are. Your beliefs are. You were not destroyed by rejection. You were destroyed by the story you told yourself about what it meant. You were not crushed by failure. You were crushed by the belief that success was the only measure of your worth. And so I say to you, look deeper. You are not the opinions people hold of you. You are not the labels they attach to you. They don't know your soul. They only see your surface. And yet you carry their words like chains. Why? Why should someone else's misunderstanding become your prison? They don't live inside your heart. They don't walk through your storms. Let them go. Their approval is not oxygen. You will not die without it. Freedom begins the moment you no longer react. The moment someone insults you and you feel nothing, not because you're numb, but because you're rooted. You know who you are, you know what you're worth, and their words, they pass through you like wind through a tree. That's power. Not domination over others, but sovereignty over self. That is the goal, that is the summit. You must ask yourself, why do I still give my peace away so cheaply? Why does one text, one look, one careless comment undo me? You are not weak, you are unaware. You have not yet realized your strength. You have not yet reclaimed what belongs to you. Your attention, your energy, your inner world. You've handed it out like candy, hoping for love in return. Stop. Call it back. Detachment is not coldness, it is clarity. It's the ability to see someone's chaos without becoming part of it, to hear their noise without letting it drown your silence, to love them even without losing yourself. You can care without clinging. You can empathize without absorbing. You can let go without closing your heart. That is mature love. That is sacred strength. The truth is, you will be misunderstood. You will be left out. You will be judged unfairly, criticized wrongly, perhaps even betrayed by those you gave your heart to. That's life. That's not a defect in the design. It is the design. Because every wound is a doorway, every heartbreak is an initiation, and every disappointment is a sacred whisper from the universe. Come back to yourself. If you never suffered, you would never wake up. If no one rejected you, you'd spend your life pleasing them. If nothing fell apart, you'd never build something real. So don't curse the pain. Let it shape you. Let it cut away what was never you. There is gold in your suffering if you have the courage to face it. You are not being punished. You are being purified. You say you want peace, but are you willing to give up your need to be right, your addiction to control, your desire to be seen a certain way? Peace is expensive. It costs ego. It costs illusion. It costs the persona you built to survive, but which no longer serves you. Let it go. The mask is heavy. Take it off. You are not here to perform. You are here to be free. In old age, we begin to see this. Not because time makes us wise, but because it strips us bare. The beauty fades, the ambition cools, the applause quiets. And what remains is truth. The parts of you that were never built by the world. The soul begins to speak more loudly, and it says, "You are already enough. You always were." But we don't hear it when we're young because we're too busy proving. We must unlearn. That is the task of aging. To unlearn the lies, the roles, the games. To come home to what is simple, still, and silent. To stop striving and start being. And in that being, finally, you discover what can no longer be taken from you. The body may weaken, the titles may fall away, but the soul, it grows, it deepens, it becomes radiant in its silence. You are not here to conquer the world. You are here to master yourself, to sit in the fire of your own truth and not run, to hold your darkness and not flinch, to love yourself through your mess and say, even here, I am worthy. That's the revolution. That's the healing. That's what makes you unshakable, when you stop outsourcing your sense of self to what the world reflects back. No one has the power to afflict you unless you grant them entry. Pain knocks, it always will, but you choose whether to open the door. And even if you let it in, you can choose how long it stays. You are not powerless. You are not broken. You are asleep to your power, that is all. Wake up to the vast stillness within you, the space untouched by praise or blame. That is who you are. Let go. Let go of the need to convince, to correct, to control. Let go of your attachment to outcomes. Let go of your fear of being alone. You will not die without them. You will rediscover yourself. And you will realize the person you were trying so hard to impress was never seeing you to begin with. Stop performing. Start returning to the place within you that needs no justification, no permission, no applause. That is where peace lives. That is where the afflictions of the world fall silent. Not because the world changed, but because you did. And when you realize that your deepest suffering came not from what others did to you, but from what you believed about yourself, you begin the sacred work of liberation. You begin to see that the voices in your mind, the ones that echo shame, fear, inadequacy, are not your own. They are the inherited whispers of generations, of culture, of parents and teachers and crowds who never knew how to love the truth of who you are. And you have obeyed those voices long enough. Now you rise. You look them in the eye and say, no more. You strip away the lies and reclaim your name. You are not broken. You were never broken. You are a field of light, learning how to remember itself in a world that constantly wants you to forget. And though it hurts to shed what you have outgrown, though it burns to let the false self die, it is a holy fire. It is the fire that reveals your gold. So you walk through it again and again, until what is left is not a person trying to be good enough, but a soul resting in its own sacred wholeness. That is where nothing and no one can afflict you anymore. Not because they won't try, but because you are no longer looking outward for what was always within.